We asked our team for a total team effort and to put 40 minutes together. We had some game goals of improvement, and that's, again, what this is all about. Number one thing is we wanted to take care of the basketball, and really pleased to see just seven turnovers on there. So that was a really good effort by our guys. We wanted to then share the basketball and get good shots, and to see the 24 assists is really, really important. And then we wanted to make them miss a little bit more and rebound. I still think there's some things that we can clean up on there, late shot clock and just awareness of being able to contest a shot and finish a play. Those are things that we've got to continue to get better at as we progress. But I thought we saw some improvement in areas that we've been stressing in practice, and give a lot of credit to the guys on our team. We played a lot of people. Everybody contributed, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. That's what we asked them to do, and it came away with a nice win.
One thing that I see is obviously the fast break points. Just the defense, like you said, you turned them over 20 times, and the fast break points off of that. 21, just what does that say about the defense also today?
Well, that's something that we had talked about. We felt like if we could get stops, we could have a good burst up the floor and find some nice plays. I know early in the second half, we got one where the ball crossed the floor and Braden threw it down to Isaiah and hit a beautiful three. We want the ball to have energy and to share it. But the stops are a big part of it. We're still exploring a couple different ideas of things that we can do to help our defense, especially our rebounding. Having Justin out there and a little bit more size I thought was helpful. It was great to see him in action. But I thought the guys did a nice job executing the game plan and putting a lot of effort into the defense.
This was the best first 5 minutes of the second half that you had in your first three games. I know you had talked about it, you'd worked on it. Is there anything in particular that you talked to him about kind of at halftime to try to remind him of that maybe worked this time?
Well, I certainly reminded him of the performance the last couple games. And, there's human nature is to relax, and human nature is to be comfortable. And when you go into halftime with a lead, the energy is nice, but then there's got to be a focus of, we talked about putting a stamp on the game and sending messages play by play with how we guard the ball. We talk about some different goals, and we weren't reaching them. Our contest rate, our rebound rate was low, and just challenged them from the very beginning on that. And so that was good improvement for us coming out of the half correctly.
How many free throws did you shoot in the last 5 days?
We shoot quite a few.
We first 18, I think.
Yeah.
It fell off a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It's one of those things that you practice a lot. We do a lot of pressure free throws. When I was in college, I had an assistant coach named Ron Rainey. He was Penn State's all-time leading free throw shooter, and he used to challenge us to free throws. He was like in his 60s, and he could still shoot it. And then he wanted to take our stipend money and all types of stuff. He wanted to. We were smart enough not to go with him that way. So we have a drill. He has since passed, but he was Coach Ryan, Bo Ryan's high school and college coach. Very, very entertaining, but good coach. And so we do a drill called Rainey free throws with pressure free throws. We did it a lot this week, and so Coach Rainey, if you're listening, you helped us.
I know you've had to use a lot of four-guard lineups. It was kind of nice to see, since you have another big man, Amadi, and you had a little bit of two big men at one time. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Justin is very athletic. He's fast. He's explosive. He's got a nose for the ball. He's just missed a lot of time, and he missed all of last year with an injury. He's had some spotty practice time, just been out, and so he's playing a little bit of catch up. But he got cleared this week, and we did an accelerated course on some things that we thought we could do with him. This is the first time we had saw zone, but he's got a way of cutting. Ty found him on that lob dunk. It was really nice. It was needed. We needed that size. I know we've talked about it. We need this next few days of practice to really incorporate and get him a little bit more comfortable in some of the things that we're doing, but we're really happy he's with us.
and quite a few alley-oop, a lot of play alley-oops today. Is that something you work on a lot, or is that, talk about that?
Yeah, we'll practice it. I mean, we have the one lob play in the zone that we got to Zay in the first half, and then we'll do some different 2-on-1 drills, half-court 2-on-1 on a break, and it's not something you get a lot, but we've got some guys with some good bounce, and we want to be able to get above the rim if it's there.
Since being here originally and then coming back, what are your feelings of the Tulsa Oral Roberts series?
Well, I just shared that with our team, and we've got a number of guys back that have experienced the Mayor's Cup, and we've got a number of guys that have not. And I'll talk about it more with them. I normally ask, is there, back in high school, is there a team that you played that maybe that game was a little bit different? Or is there something a game that just had a different type of feeling? And I know for us, that's the Mayor's Cup with ORU. I remember it when I was a GA years ago. Talked to a lot of the former players. It's a game that's gone on. I'm very much a proponent of historic rivals and in-state games. It's kind of why we played Northeastern State even the other day. We've got some other in-state games, but there's just a special meaning when you play an in-city school. And of course, we want to always play well, but you always want to play well for your city, and that's our goal. And we'll enjoy this one for a little bit, but tomorrow we'll be focused on our next game on Wednesday.
I talked about defense, but also offensively. I think this is last year you only had one 100-point game, and it was like one of the first games in conference. Getting this 100-point victory so early on in the season, the scoring, it seems like you had 4 guys in double figures tonight. It's really sharing the ball that it looks like this year.
Yeah, and that's what we had hoped to do. Our goal is to have at least 4 in double figures, but preferably 5. But to have the number of guys scored was great. And we've felt that, as you go into each year you try to figure out the personality and what is best for that team and adjust accordingly as you go on. Sometimes your assessment at one point might change, especially as you start playing games and just seeing how people guard you differently than what we may do in practice all the time. But we have felt early on that this was potentially a better passing team and shooting team. We just got to continue to find different ways against different opponents to get those types of shots. Keaston Willis, Braden Carrington, Tyshawn Archie. Really proud of Dwan Odom. He's a guy that barely shot threes, and it's something he worked extremely hard on this offseason to go 2 of 4. I am so proud of him. And so we're just going to continue to, again, one of our mantras is the ball has energy and let's spread it. And so that's what I was happy to see that happen tonight.
I saw it was his birthday yesterday, so he's one of the older guys on the team. Is it harder for him to get up? He had a few dunks today. Is it harder on him to get those, you feel like?
So I think with age, what I've seen in college players is you'll have your freshmen who may dunk in layup drills every single day. And as you get, typically it seems later in college, guys will save them for the games. So we're not seeing Dwan do that in practice every day. Sometimes in live moments, but I've not seen the windmill either. I've not seen that one. His mom is in town. It was great to see her, and so he was saving that one for Mom.
Yeah, you see the knee stuff on him before, and then once he has to sit down, he looks like he's getting a little older than the rest. He has to wear special stuff.
He's definitely a little bit older. He's a year older now, but the guy's got lots of juice. He is. We've talked about, and I want to make sure I make this point. Him and I had talked about just the length of a season and how this team is forming, and I'd said, hey, I'd really like to have an alpha come off the bench that can be in that second wave, and we see that his minutes are just going to continue to grow, especially as we continue to go during this season. But he's a great leader. I've been really impressed with him in a number of different ways. He's a Swiss Army knife for us. We're putting him all over the floor in different spots. And so, really happy Dwan's here.